Good morning, my friends. Hope today finds you happy and well. And I don't know what you're doing to keep normal during this really unusual period of sequester, but for me today, I wore a tie today because that seems weird. I never thought I'd miss wearing a tie, but wearing a tie is a very superintendent-y thing to do. And since we have board meeting today, I'm wearing a tie. So that feels normal to me. I'm here in the media room at the office and, superintending today. And I have a really funny book that I want to share with you. It's a little bit longer. I've done a lot of books for littler kids. This was when I was a sixth grade teacher. This was an absolute favorite. And it's a little bit longer, so stay tuned today. So parents, if you need a little more time away, maybe you'll buy 10 minutes out of this one. This hilarious book on the front cover. And look, this is also a Caldecott Honor Award winner on the front cover there. This is called The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales. Now, you know about fairy tales, but these are fairly stupid tales. Stupid's not the nicest thing to say, but it's a really funny book. Look at the back cover. There's a little red hen and it says, "What's this doing here? This is ugly. Who is this ISBN guy?" She's complaining about the barcode right here. "Who'll buy this book anyway? Over 50 pages of nonsense and I'm only in 3 of them. Blah, 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 blah." So there she is on the back cover. Look at the spine of the book right there. So the spine reads, Scieszka and Smith, The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales, published by Viking Publishers. You want to see the title page? Oh, this book is crazy. This one has a very unique title page. Title page! So this is just a very unique book, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. It just starts right here. Normally you don't have writing opposite the title page, but this one does. So it says, "I found a kernel of wheat," said the little red hen. "Now who will help me plant this wheat? Where is that lazy dog? Where is that lazy cat? Where is that lazy mouth? Wait a minute. Hold everything. You can't tell your story right here. This is the end paper. The book hasn't even started yet. Who are you? Will you help me plant the wheat?" Look, there's Jack, and there's a little red hen. She's screaming at him. "I'm Jack. I'm the narrator. And no, I can't help you plant the wheat. I'm just a very busy guy trying to put a book together. Now, why don't you just disappear for a few pages, and I'll call you when I need you." "But who will help me tell my story? Who will help me draw a picture of the wheat? Who will help me spell the wheat?" "Listen, hen, forget the wheat. Here comes the title page." Boom! Title page for The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales. Now, normally you don't have writing on the end paper, but this is, just shows you this is a crazy book. Uh-oh, Jack put something upside down. It says, "This book is dedicated to our close personal special friend. Your name here." So it's dedicated to you, upside down. Now, what does Jack say about it being upside down? I know, the page is upside down. I meant to do that. Whoever looks at the dedication stuff anyhow. If you really wanted to read it, you can always stand on your head. Oh, this crazy book. So here's the introduction. This is this long page right here. "A long time ago, people used to tell magical stories of wonder and enchantment, and those stories were called fairy tales. Those stories are not in this book. The stories in this book are almost fairy tales, but not quite. I mean, what else would you call a story like Goldilocks and the 3 Elephants? The girl walking through the woods smells peanut porridge cooking. She decides to break into the elephant's house, eat the porridge, sit in the chairs, sleep in the beds. But when she gets in the house, she can't climb up on baby elephant's chair because it's too big. She can't climb up on mama elephant's chair because it's much too big. And she can't climb up on papa elephant's chair because it's much, much too big. So she goes home. The end." Is that the story? No, it's usually Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, right? And if you don't think that's fairly stupid, you should read Little Red Running Shorts. Not Little Red Riding Hood, Little Red Running Shorts. Or The Stinky Cheese Man. Who's that? Instead of the Gingerbread Man, that's right. In fact, you should definitely go read those stories now because the rest of this introduction just kind of goes on and doesn't really say anything. I stuck it on the end here so it would fill up the page and make it look like I really knew what I was talking about. So stop now. I mean it. Quit reading. Turn the page. If you read this last sentence, it won't tell you anything. Signed, Jack, up the hill from the fairy tale forest. And now it has a Surgeon General's warning right here that says, "Surgeon General's warning, it has been determined that these tales are fairly stupid and probably are dangerous to your health." So you ready to read some fairly stupid tales? This one's Chicken Licken. It's similar to Chicken Little, but this is Chicken Licken. Look, he got hit with something on the head right there. Remember Chicken Little, the sky is falling, right? Once upon a time, Chicken Licken was standing around when a piece of something fell on her head. She wasn't the brightest thing on two legs, so she started running around in circles yelling, "The sky is falling! The sky is falling! We must tell the president!" Chicken Licken ran to her friend Ducky Lucky and called, "Ducky Lucky! Ducky Lucky! The sky is falling! The sky is falling! We must tell the president!" "Let's go," said Ducky Lucky. So Chicken Licken and Ducky Lucky ran to their friend Goosey Lucy and yelled, "Goosey Lucy! Goosey Lucy! The sky is falling! The sky is falling! We must tell the president!" "Let's go," honked Goosey Lucy. So Chicken Licken, Ducky Lucky, and Goosey Lucy ran to their friend Cocky Locky and yelled, "Cocky Locky! Cocky Locky! The sky is falling! The sky is falling! We must tell the president!" "Let's go," crowed Cocky Locky. "Wait a minute! Wait a minute!" cried Jack the narrator. "I forgot the table of contents! I forgot the table of contents!" "Hey, you're not in this story," said Chicken Licken. Jack forgot the table of contents. Now he's trying to stick it in the middle of their book. "I know," said Jack the narrator, "but I came to warn you. The table of contents is..." "The sky is falling! The sky is falling!" clucked Chicken Licken. "We must tell the president!" So Chicken Licken, Ducky Lucky, Goosey Lucy, and Cocky Locky ignored Jack the narrator. And they ran off to catch a plane to Washington. Just outside the airport, they met Foxy Loxy. "Foxy Loxy! Foxy Loxy! The sky is falling! The sky is falling! We must tell the president!" yelled Chicken Licken, Ducky Lucky, Goosey Lucy, and Cocky Locky. "Well, come with me," said Foxy Loxy. "I know a shortcut to the airport." Foxy Loxy led Chicken Licken, Ducky Lucky, Goosey Lucy, and Cocky Locky to his cave. He didn't get to eat them, though, because Chicken Licken was almost right. The sky wasn't falling. The table of contents was, and it fell and it squashed everybody. The end. That is crazy. So here's the table of contents that fell and squished Chicken Licken and Goosey Lucy and Cocky Locky. So Chicken Licken, the princess and the bowling ball, the really ugly duckling, the other fraud prince, Little Red Running Shorts, Jack's bean problem, the tortoise and the hare, Crumplestiltskin, and the Stinky Cheese Man. Look at the princess and the bowling ball. What story is that? That's the princess and the pea, remember? This is the princess and the bowling ball. Once upon a time, there was a prince. And this prince's dad and mom, the king and queen, somehow got it into their royal heads that no princess could be good enough for their boy unless she could feel a pea through 100 mattresses. So it should come as no surprise that the prince had a very, very hard time finding a princess. Can you really feel a pea through 100 mattresses? I don't think so. Every time he met a nice girl, his mom and dad would pile 100 mattresses on top of a pea and then invite her to sleep over. When the princess came down for breakfast, the queen would ask, "How did you sleep, dear?" And the princess would politely say, "Fine, thank you." And the king would show her out the door. So this went on for 3 years, and nobody ever felt the pea under 100 mattresses. Of course they didn't. Then one day the prince met a girl of his dreams. He decided he had better do something about it. That night, before the princess went to bed, the prince slipped his bowling ball under the 100 mattresses. When the princess came down for breakfast the next morning, the queen asked, "How did you sleep, dear?" "This may sound odd," said the princess, "but I think you need another mattress. It felt like I was sleeping on a lump as big as a bowling ball." The king and queen were satisfied. The prince and princess were married. And everyone lived happily, although not completely honestly, ever after. The end. So that's what you got to do. If you find the girl of your dreams, get the bowling ball. Put it under the mattresses. Mom and dad, they didn't know the whole story, but that's fine. It all worked out in the end. This one's called The Really Ugly Duckling. Remember the story about the ugly duckling and it turns out to be a swan, and that one's really beautiful. So this one's an interesting version of that. Once upon a time, there was a mother duck and a father duck who had 7 baby ducklings. 6 of them were regular-looking ducklings. The 7th was a really ugly duckling. Everyone used to say, "What a nice bunch of looking ducklings, all except that one. Boy, he's really ugly." That's kind of mean. The really ugly duckling heard these people, but he didn't care. He knew that one day he would probably grow up to be a swan and be bigger and look better than anything in the pond. Well, as it turned out, he was just a really ugly duckling, and he grew up to be a really ugly duck. The end. That's not right. Poor guy. This one's called The Other Frog Prince. Remember, if you kiss a frog, it'll turn to a prince? I don't know. You better try it. Maybe that's something you could do to spend time in COVID-19. Go find a frog today. Don't tell your mom I told you to kiss a frog. Don't kiss a frog. Practice safe COVID-19 distancing. Once upon a time, there was a frog. One day when he was sitting on his lily pad, he saw a beautiful princess sitting by the pond. He hopped in the water, swam over to her, and poked his head out of the weeds. "Pardon me, oh beautiful princess," he said in his most sad and pathetic voice. "I wonder if you can help me." The princess was about to jump and run, but she felt sorry for the frog with a sad and pathetic voice. So she asked, "What can I do to help you, little frog?" "Well," said the frog, "I'm not really a frog, but a handsome prince who was turned into a frog by a wicked witch's spell. And the spell can only be broken by the kiss of a beautiful princess." The princess thought about this for a second, then lifted the frog from the pond and kissed him. "I was just kidding," said the frog. He jumped back into the pond, and the princess wiped the frog slime off of her lips. The end. Don't kiss any frogs. You'll just get frog slime on your mouth. Not Little Red Riding Hood, but Little Red Running Shorts. What do you think? Are these fairly stupid tales? Kinda. Funny, though. "Okay, I got things running smoothly now," said Jack the narrator. "This next story is even better than the last three. See, it's about this girl who runs very fast and always wears these red running shorts. That's where her name comes from. Get it? So anyway, this girl is running to her granny's house and she meets a wolf. He tricks her into taking the long way while he takes the shortcut. Now this is the good part because Red runs so fast that she beats the wolf to Granny's house. He knocks on the door, Red answers it, and guess what she says? 'My, what slow feet you have!' And that's it. The end. Isn't that great or what? So sit back, relax, and enjoy Little Red Running Shorts. And now, like I already said, Little Red Running Shorts. You just told the whole story, said Little Red Running Shorts. We're not going to tell it again. You can't say that, said Jack. You have to start with Once Upon a Time. No way, said the wolf. You blew it. But you guys are next. Look at the title at the top of the page. Little Red Running Shorts. That's you. Let's go, wolf. We're out of here. Wait, you can't do this. Your story is supposed to be 3 pages long. What do we do when we turn the page? What's Jack going to do? He already told their story. They just didn't show. Oh my gosh, here comes the red hen again with the wheat and the bread. "I planted the wheat, I watered the wheat, I harvested the wheat. Now do I get to tell my story?" said the little red hen. "Say, what's going on here? Why is that page blank? Is that my page? Where's the lazy dog? Where's the lazy cat? Where's the lazy mouse? How do they expect me to tell my whole story by myself? Where's the lazy narrator? Where's the lazy illustrator? Where's that lazy author?" Watch out for the little red hen. Here's Jack's bean problem. Well, that's the narrator Jack. This must be his story. "Forget that hen. Now's the time for the best story in the whole book. My story. Because once upon a time, I traded our last cow for some 3 magic beans. And hey, Giant, what are you doing down here? You're wrecking my whole story." "I don't like that story," said the Giant. "You always trick me." "Well, that's the best part," said Jack. "Fee, fi, fum, fory. I made my own story." Great rhyme, Giant, and I'm sure your story's just as good, but there's no room for it, so why don't you just climb back up the beanstalk, and I'll be up in a few minutes to steal your gold and your singing harp. "I'll grind your bones to make my bread." I knew you'd understand, and here's another thing that could be bugging me. Could you please stop talking in uppercase letters? It really messes up the page. "I will read my story now," said the Giant. And he did. So what's the Giant story? Here's the Giant story. Look at that crazy picture. Look at that. This Giant story is just a bunch of pieced together stuff with Jack hanging on right here. Look. "The end of the evil stepmother said, 'I'll huff and snuff and give you 3 wishes.' The beast changed into 7 dwarves, happily ever after, for a spell had been cast by a wicked witch once upon a time." Does that even make sense? The Giant story is kind of crazy. "That's your story?" said Jack. You gotta be kidding. That's not a fairly stupid tale. That's an incredibly stupid tale. That's an unbelievably stupid tale. That's the most stupid tale I ever... Oh, God. The Giant grabbed Jack and dragged him to the next page. Here's Jack's story. Oh, there's the giant, Jack. Ooh, boy. Once upon a time, there was a giant. The giant squeezed Jack and said, "Tell me a better story, or I will grind your bones to make my bread. And when your story is finished, I will grind your bones to make my bread anyway. Ho, ho, ho." The giant laughed an ugly laugh. Jack thought, "He'll kill me if I do. He'll kill me if I don't. There's only one way to get out of this." Jack cleared his throat and then began his story. Once upon a time, there was a giant. The giant squeezed Jack and said, "Tell me a better story, or I'll grind your bones to make my bread." He just repeats the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. What's he trying to do? Why is he telling it over? He's trying to make that giant leave him alone. Here's Cinderella, or the girl who really blew it. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful girl named Cinderella who lived with her wicked stepmother and two ugly stepsisters. These step-relatives were not only wicked and ugly, they also made Cinderella clean the house every day. One day, the local prince announced that there was holding a fabulous ball at his castle and everyone was invited. The stepmother and stepsisters all got dressed up to go, but as usual, they made Cinderella clean the house, so she didn't have time to get ready. After the stepmother and stepsisters left for the ball, Cinderella sat down and began to cry. Then a little man appeared. "Please don't cry," he said. "I can help you spin straw into gold." That's Rumpelstiltskin. "I don't think that will help me do much good," said Cinderella. "I need a fancy dress, glass slippers, and a coach." "Would you like to try and guess my name?" said the clever little man. Cinderella looked at him. "No, not really." "Come on, do you think it's Chester?" "If you don't have a dress, it really doesn't matter." "Oh, guess a name, any name." "I'm not supposed to talk to strangers," said Cinderella. Then she opened the door and the little man left the little man outside screaming, "Rumpelstiltskin, Rumpelstiltskin, Rumpelstiltskin." When the stepmother and stepsisters got home from the ball, Cinderella told them about the strange little man. They still made her clean the house. And meaner still, they changed her name to Cinder Rumpelstiltskin. The end. Oh, look, the giant's in the window, asleep. And there's Cinderella now, Cinder Rumpelstiltskin. Here's the tortoise and the hare. But not H-A-R-E hare, H-A-I-R hare. Once upon a time, there was a tortoise who was very slow but very dependable. He would always get where he set out to go. It just took him longer than most people. One day, a rabbit saw the tortoise slowly but surely walking down the road and said, "Tortoise, you are so slow. I could probably grow hair faster than you run." "Oh, yeah?" said the tortoise slowly. "Yeah," said the rabbit. So they decided to race. On the day of the big race, Tortoise and the rabbit lined up at the starting line. Owl said, "On your mark, get set, grow." Tortoise started to run. Rabbit started to grow his hair. What's going to happen? Tortoise ran, rabbit grew his hair. 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 Tortoise is still running. Rabbit is still growing his hair. And not the end. That's terrible. That's the worst story in the history ever. It's terrible. But what are you going to do from Fairly Stupid Tales? Here is the Stinky Cheese Man. Once upon a time, there was a little old woman and a little old man who lived together in a little old house. They were lonely, so the little old lady decided to make a man out of stinky cheese. She gave him a piece of bacon for a mouth and true olives for eyes and put him in the oven to cook. There he is. Isn't he lovely? When she opened the oven to see if he was done, the smell knocked her back. "Whoa! What is that terrible smell?" she cried. The Stinky Cheese Man hopped out of the oven and ran out the door calling, "Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the Stinky Cheese Man." The little old lady and the little old man sniffed the air. "I'm not really hungry," said the little old man. "And I'm not really all that lonely," said the little old lady. So they didn't chase the Stinky Cheese Man. The Stinky Cheese Man ran and ran until he met a cow eating grass in a field. "Whoa! What is that awful smell?" said the cow. Oh, look at the cow. The Stinky Cheese Man said, "I've run away from a little old lady and a little old man, and I can run away from you, I can. Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the Stinky Cheese Man." The cow gave another sniff and said, "Oh, I bet you could give someone 2 or 3 stomach aches. I think I'll just eat weeds." So the cow didn't chase the Stinky Cheese Man either. The Stinky Cheese Man ran and ran until he met some kids playing outside school. "Gross," said a little girl. "What's that nasty smell?" I've run away from a little old lady and a little old man and a cow, and I can run away from you too, I can. Run, you can't catch me. Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me, I'm the Stinky Cheese Man. A little boy looked up, sniffed the air, and said, if we catch him, our teacher will probably make us eat him. Let's get out of here. So the kids didn't chase the Stinky Cheese Man either. Nobody wants him. Who does he meet? Oh, we often meet up with a fox. Fox usually eats the character. What do you think he's going to do with the Stinky Cheese Man? By and by, the Stinky Cheese Man came to a river with no bridge. How will I cross this river? It's too big to jump, and if I try to swim, I'll probably fall apart, said you-know-who. Just then a sly fox, who shows up in a lot of stories like these, poked his head out of the bushes. Why, just hop on my back and I'll carry you across, Stinky Cheese Man. How do I know you won't eat me, said the fox. Trust me, said the Stinky Cheese Man. Trust me, said the fox. So the Stinky Cheese Man hopped on the fox's back. The fox swam out to the middle of the river and said, oh man, what's that funky smell? The fox coughed, the fox gagged and sneezed, and the Stinky Cheese Man fell off his back and fell into the river. Well, he fell apart. The end. Nobody wants to chase the Stinky Cheese Man. Oh, here's the look in the end paper. What is that? There's a giant and Jack. And Jack says, shh, be very quiet. I moved the end paper up here so the giant would think the book is over. The big lug's finally asleep. Now I can sneak out of here. Just turn the page very quietly, and that will be the end. And what is the giant eating? Oh my gosh, he's got a sandwich with a chicken in it. Who got eaten? The little red hen. That's right. Remember the little red hen? Blah, 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 blah. So that's it with this book jacket. So this is John Scieszka's The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales. Totally funny, totally goofy, totally gross, and don't chase the Stinky Cheese Man. That's a long book reading today. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks and have a great day.